This is called the generation gap.
My generation, baby.
Hi, this is Chase, and wow, what an episode you're about to listen to. This is our third week recording from separate locations, and let me tell ya, every episode has had its challenges and surprises. So this week, sound is fine, but my Wi-Fi was apparently weak, and Skype kicked me off the call by the end of the episode. Hashtag not cool. We were Instagram living as well, and that kind of was successful. So thank you to everyone who watched live. We'll do it again next week. You're about to listen to John and I talk about whether bucket lists are important. We learned that John just celebrated 24 years of being sober, and then we discuss an article that argues that boomers are the best generation. And John is PO'd about that and has a lot to say. Also, my sound was delayed because of this whole recording separate situation. So if you're like, wow, Chase doesn't have a lot to say, it's because poor John, I'm sure, just thought I wasn't responding to anything he was saying, when in reality, I was still listening to whatever he was saying on the other end of the call. Oh, brother, we're doing our best. Listen, that's all you can ask for, right? On that note, if you feel like helping us out, so perhaps we can buy better recording equipment, LOL, please check out our Patreon page at patreon.com/generationgab. We offer fun perks to our patrons and would love to have you on the team. Our goal is to hit 50 patrons. Can we do it? Yes, we can. You can also mention our podcast at checkout if you use services at avgearguide.com to get 5% off, and that also helps us out. So on that note, stay safe and healthy, everyone, and enjoy the show.
My generation, baby.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to Generation Gab. My name is John Lehr, and I'm a Gen X fun dad.
And I am a millennial, semi-recent grad. Thank you so much for watching our podcast live. We're gabbing about our generations.
Yeah, I represent
different generations. We gab about them.
Yeah, we gab about generations, our similarities and differences, and how we all interact. And boy, this pandemic has really brought that to a forefront, because the pandemic attacks primarily older generations. And the new one. So if we all go down, Chase, the millennials and below you are going to have to run the world without us. How do you feel about that? Do you guys feel like you're up for it?
Yeah.
Really? So
I think we do just fine.
Oh, okay. God, that's cold. I mean, I thought you would need us, our sage advice and direction. I mean, you guys are just like, screw it. There was a oh God, what was that science fiction? It was something Run. But it was I've brought it up before. But it's where if you turned a certain age, you had this crystal on your hand and it glowed, and then you had to go get killed. Anyway, yeah. But
what's that movie?
Oh God, it's something Run. Why am I not Logan's Run? Logan's Run. Have you ever seen it?
No.
Doesn't hold up. It's pretty lo-fi. But anyway, the concept is really interesting, because when people got to be a certain age, this little thing on their hand would start glowing, and that meant it was time to go.
Oh,
yeah.
No. That's like that movie with Justin Timberlake, like Time's Up.
Justin Timberlake did a movie?
Yeah, about like you knew how long you were going to live. The number was right here on your arm. So like every second, it was just like less seconds. Your time was running out.
You had a timer on your hand, on your arm, counting down to your death?
Yeah.
Oh my God. That's horrid.
It's pretty sad.
Yeah, that's so depressing. So you'd have to look at it every day. They should at least put it like someplace where you don't look very often, like your taint, or like, make it do it backwards on your neck. So you'd have to saddle up to a mirror and look at it that way or something. Or put it under your tongue, maybe.
Yeah, well, I just don't think that would have made such a good movie.
What about if they tattooed it on your lip? You know how the kids now
Yeah.
are tattooing on their lip where you pull your lip down and see behind it? Maybe that's where they should
Yeah,
have put
that
it.
could be good. I'd prefer that.
Yeah, God, but to put it right on your arm where you're always like, oh, yeah, there again. I'm looking at like when I'm going to die. Oh, my God.
So
Well,
you wouldn't like that.
I don't know. I mean, as you know, I like to believe that I welcome death and that I'm totally fine with that. So maybe, maybe for me it would be good to see and be like, okay, what do I need to be doing? But see, I've never been a big believer in a bucket list. Do you believe in bucket lists, Chase?
I don't know if it's something you need to believe in, right?
Well,
I think it's like
I don't spend time thinking here are the things I need to do before I die. Do you?
sometimes.
You do? Like, what do you want to do before you die? Because I think this is
There was a show about like the world was ending and they
Right.
made apocalypse.
Oh
You get
my
it? Like,
God! What
not the
the hell?
apocalypse, but they made apocalypse
Oh
on what
Jesus!
they wanted to do before the world ended. So I made a little apocalypse book,
Okay. And
and I
what's on it?
forget what was on it. It was like learn Spanish.
What? Why? Why would you want to learn Spanish before you die? Because then you die. I mean, that seems silly. That's a waste of time, Chase.
Why? It's been something that I've always wanted to do.
For what? What purpose? Because once you're dead, it serves no purpose. I mean, that's a live apocalypse. Apocalypse. Apocalypse.
I guess another one was I think I put travel.
Okay, travel.
That's a boring one.
I mean, where do you want to go at this point? Iceland. Everybody wants to go to Iceland, right? You want to go to Iceland?
No, I think I want to go to like Spain and Ireland.
Okay, I've been, I've traveled some.
you've
It's
been.
cool. Traveling's cool. It's not like I don't know. Anyway, I'm not a big believer in a bucket list. I feel like I'm not going to think about things I need to do before I die. I just don't want to. I don't want to know. I don't want to like focus on it.
Okay.
I guess
Is there anything you want to do not before you die, but just for
in
fun?
general, I'd like to go back on drugs. As you know, that would be a goal. I always say that I'm one car accident away from being able to go back on drugs. If my family died in a car accident, then I'd be able to drink and use again because nobody would blame me. They'd be like, oh, John's drinking again? I'd be like, but did you hear what happened to his family? Oh, okay.
Oh.
That would be like the best excuse.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, but I need all my family to die, which would really
That's
suck.
terrible.
Well, it's the only option I have. I'm 24 years sober now. I turned 24 years sober on April 3rd. Yep, 24
John,
years ago.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I did it. It's all me. I made it
You
up.
did.
No.
That's the hardest thing. I mean, I don't know, but I think that must be the hardest thing.
I don't know. Well, it's not really in my control. Like I can't really take credit for it. I did some stuff, but really I give it to, powers greater than myself, if you know what I'm saying, Chase.
God.
Well, yeah. But because there were plenty of other times I wanted to quit, believe me, and I didn't. So why did it happen that time? I don't know. I mean, at the time when I got sober, I thought, oh, my God, this is me. All right, I've had enough. I spent the night in jail on acid. I'm quitting. God damn it. I'm quitting. And I thought that I was the one who decided to quit. But now, the longer I get away from that moment, I could sort of realize, John, you had nothing to do with it.
Really? That's beautiful, John, but I'm really proud of you as I drink my green drink.
Ooh, God, what is that? Chase is drinking. It's a very viscous green. Oh, God, it looks like you're drinking moss.
It's really bad. It
tastes
can
bad?
I tell you what's in it?
Yeah.
Celery.
Okay, I like Spinach.
Kale.
Ugh.
Parsley.
Ooh.
Apple.
Oh, I like apple.
banana,
Oh, I like that.
and water.
And a little bit of vodka.
And a little bit of that.
Wow, that is nasty. Now, why do you drink that? That's to drink long. That's to so you can live
my
longer.
quarantine drink.
It's what?
Every morning.
You do that every
I've been
morning?
making it. It's apparently it's called the glowing green smoothie, and it's supposed to make your skin glowing.
You do look very healthy, Chase. You look
Really?
yes. You look healthy.
I put some cover up on.
Oh, that's
it
okay.
hasn't worked yet.
That's fine. A little cover up and it doesn't hurt anybody. I should be doing something about these, and I'm pointing to the bags under my eyes, which is, I earned those 24 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes what I like to do is bring up an article, and Chase seems to enjoy it when I do that. So I look for.
What'd you find?
Well, this is really interesting. It's here we go. All right. It says, "Okay, millennial, boomers are the greatest generation in history."
Okay, John, is this a joke?
No. Did I already do this?
Oh wait. You said boomers are the greatest?
Boomers are now. I know last week I talked about
said...
how Gen Xers are the greatest. I'm always
you were going to say step aside millennials. Gen X is the greatest.
Well, last week I did find an article that said how Gen Xers are the best. We are the people who are best to take us through this pandemic because we are the slacker generation and we know how to stay isolated. And it's very easy. You just wake and bake and then put on a sci-fi movie. Remember I said that last week? That's really all it is. All right. Yeah. So this is a story from Newsweek, which, by the way, what happened to Newsweek? It's
what? Did they used to be just amazing and now they're not?
Yeah, they used to be amazing. And, oh, shit, I can't get the art. They're now making me pay for it. God damn it.
Oh, brother, I hate when they do that.
Oh, Jesus. You're right. You fill some time, Chase, while I do this. I'm doing this.
Okay. Well, hi, Eddie. He said, preach with the wake and bake. Mm-hmm. Eddie is an amazing stand-up comic. We do comedy together. And Chaman, who I can't pronounce, what years are Gen X? It starts 1965.
Yes, it starts 65. I'm the first year because I was born in 65.
We've got Obama as a Gen X. We've got Michelle Obama. You've got Matthew McConaughey, Bradley Cooper. Some really great people. Gen Xers.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the Gen Xers are, there's a lot of people out there who believe that Gen Xers are the best generation. We are the greatest generation. A lot of people say that. See, I'm talking like our president.
But
a lot of people are saying.
Article that says boomers are the best.
Yeah. Well, boomers, my deal with boomers. I love them individually, but as a group, I feel like they really failed us.
You hate them.
I hate them. There's too many of them. And they started out as hippies, and they were going to change the world, and then they all just went for the money, baby. They just went for the money. And so that's why I'm anti-boomer. But I like individual boomers, like your mother. I like the individual boomers. She's saying.
She's very upset that you don't like boomers.
I know. There's a lot of good boomers out there. I know that. But I just think as a generation, they should have accomplished more. Instead of they basically, look, it's easy for me to say as a Gen Xer because Gen Xers have done nothing. That's what we do. We do nothing. That's our whole generation. I was in Trader Joe's, as I told you before we started the podcast today. I was in Trader Joe's, which is a grocery store, and it's not all over the country. So anyway, I was in it, which is god damn, is going to the grocery store a nightmare.
Oh, a nightmare.
Oh, I had my mask on because now you got to wear the mask, and I had everything, and then you have to stand in line outside the grocery store. Everybody's 6 feet apart, and boy, is that hilarious. Because one of the things I love about Los Angeles is the people watching. I just love L.A. I love L.A. because there are the craziest, weirdest people here, and it's fantastic. And they were all in line. It was like a casting call for weirdos outside the Trader Joe's, But then I got in line, and by now when you go to Trader, I don't know if this was your experience, Chase, but now when you go to Trader Joe's, you have to follow. They put arrows and you all have to go through the grocery store in the same route. So you do you know what I'm saying? So you have to. It's like we all go through it in a serpentine together.
Really, I haven't been to Trader Joe's since the lockdown.
Okay, well, it makes it hard because I don't know what I'm doing when I'm shopping, and I've got people texting me, my family. I do a group test. Hey, everybody, I'm here. What do you need? And then they all start sending stuff, and it comes in at different angles. Jules is asking for ice cream. Hudson is asking for potato chips. Jennifer is wanting salmon, and so it's hard. So I don't have it all organized. So I'm a guy who likes to run around the grocery store, and they don't let you. Now you have to be sister-fucking-matic.
Wow. So, and I'm curious, you brought this story up right after talking about
Gen X, because I got to the checkout and it was two young millennials helping me pack my stuff up. I love Trader Joe's employees. They're all so happy. All of them are
They're
happy.
Really nice.
Why is that?
They're
What are
nicest?
I want to
know.
They're always all happy. It's like In-N-Out Burger, same thing. What is going on at those companies? Because we need.
Treat them really well.
Yeah, but anyway, so they're chatting, and all of a sudden this song comes out. It goes, that song that goes, ooh, it goes, oh yeah, boom boom. You know that song? Oh yeah.
It's in Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
That's right, and the younger of them who was ringing up my groceries goes, what the hell is this song? And the other guy goes, oh, it's a song from the 80s. And I go, hell yeah, it's a song from the 80s. And I go, this song is perfect for the 80s because the 80s was a terrible time. And they're both looking at me like, really? And I'm like, yes, they're terrible fashion, terrible music, and terrible. Until grunge came along, in my view. Once Nirvana came along, well, actually, Guns N' Roses saved my soul. But up until then, it was just like, oh, God, it was just horrible music. And I said, and we had our own pandemic, you guys. And they were like, what? And I said, it was called AIDS.
AIDS.
And let me tell you, as bad as this one is, and this one affects a lot of people, the crazy thing about AIDS was, remember, early 80s AIDS, we didn't know where it came from. Some people thought monkey. Nobody knew. And was it only gay people? And could you get it from kissing? And nobody fucking knew anything. Coronavirus, at least we know that it's a virus and it's through the air, But it's so funny because we're having this conversation with all of us masked up, and these two young millennials, and I'm like schooling them.
You brought up AIDS at Trader Joe's?
Yes.
To two little young 20-somethings?
Yes, because they needed to know. I needed them to understand. And I said, listen, you guys now, this is your defining moment. You two are going to grow up, and forever, this pandemic is going to be the defining moment of your generation, as I've said to you, Chase, I think.
Well, my sister was telling me, millennials have it pretty hard. We had the recession right around when all of us were kind of like becoming adults.
Yes.
Like my sister graduated college into the recession. Like it just was pretty bad. And then 10 years later, now we're hit with we're going to have another really bad recession.
Yeah. You guys really got screwed.
But I don't think that's that good.
And see, we were talking about this, the Trader Joe's people and I were talking about this, and I said, here's the only good thing that came out of the 80s. The cocaine was so pure, and it was everywhere. And they looked at me like, you're a crazy old man, which I am.
You were talking like this to the employees?
Yes.
That's so funny. Were they laughing or what they do?
I don't know what they made of me. I think they were glad that I was just sort of different and gave their day a little, shake up.
Did you say I was on Friends?
No, I didn't say any of that. I should have.
They would have gotten a picture.
They both would have had just an orgasm.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them. It was a guy and a girl, and they were both so millennial, no offense, but they just looked so young and hip and cool, and I don't know, they were both fluid and, gay and fucking anything, and I don't know, they were just...
Gen Z.
Oh, maybe they were more Gen Z. They were young millennials.
If they're young, if they're like early 20s, they're like considered Gen Z.
They are? Oh, okay. Well, maybe they were Gen Z then. So, anyway.
I don't know. The brink is like shifting now. It's
It-
like all shifting into Gen Z.
Well, it was so funny that song was playing, and she's like, "What is this song?" And I was like, "God, lady,
Yeah, because I feel like millennials know Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Okay,
We've
so
all
maybe
seen it.
so they were Gen Zers. Okay,
Yeah, but has your daughter seen Ferris Bueller's Day Off?
I don't think so. She doesn't
Yeah,
watch movies, really. They don't watch movies. Movies are
You know
over.
what I watched last night, John?
What?
And I did see this in theaters in 2009, but I hadn't seen it really since. I watched The Hangover.
Oh, good movie. Good movie.
And so many things, so many lines would not have been okay today.
Yeah. You mean the
There-
PC stuff?
The what?
Like PC type stuff, you mean? Like,
Yeah. There were so many like lines that I was like, oh, they would never say something like that today. It's too like Me Too or
yeah.
just like inappropriate.
See,
for
that's the
time.
beginning for you, Chase. That's the beginning of getting older, is realizing that you have to make a conscious effort to get along in the current culture, and this is why the right exists, because they want things to stay the way they were. And I think a lot of it is because it's hard to change. It's really hard. And you think about it. And I think this all the time where I'm like, really? I can't say that. You know, like,
Yeah,
and nope, you can't say that
it's only
anymore.
been 10 years. And not only, that's a decade. That's a really long time. But
Yeah, but just you
it's
wait, Chase.
crazy.
Oh, God. Wait till you become invisible and nobody looks at you anymore. You're this.
It's coming too quick.
It's no, you still got it, kid. You still
John,
got it.
You called me this morning. You said, Chase, I'm just wiped. So tell me what's going on.
I don't know. I tried. It took me 3.5 hours to go shopping yesterday because I went to Trader Joe's and then I went to Gelson. So I did a back to back. I don't know. And then I came home. Nobody helped me load the groceries in, because Hudson was certain he saw a mouse downstairs in the house, which I'm dubious of, but it's possible. And he said, I'm not going downstairs, but I'm like, boy, that's convenient that you saw a mouse right when I needed to load the groceries in. And so I loaded all the groceries in. Nobody helped me. I put them all in the thing, and then I was going to cook steaks for everybody because I bought steaks, but I was like, fuck it. Fuck you. I'm exhausted. You guys do your own
Nobody helped me.
Nobody
Yeah.
helped me. So I made a peanut butter and honey sandwich, and I went upstairs. And then they all bothered me and stuff. Nobody left me alone. I just wanted to play this tennis game on my iPhone. Nobody would leave me alone. So anyway, that was my night. It was exhausting.
This has always stuck with me. You said the one place you are allowed to be alone is the bathroom.
Yeah, but there's no lock on it. And now Hudson will come in, and I'll be like, I'll look him right in the eye. And I'll say, Hudson, there is poop coming out of my butt right now. And he just looks back at me like, so? And I'm like, can you let me do?
Well, John, you got to get a lock.
I know. I got to get a lock. But then they'll pound on the door, and there's one bathroom that has a lock, and it's downstairs. And so it's always, when we come in as a family, it's always a rush to get to that bathroom so you can get away from people. All right, here we go, because I live in an old house. It's like 1922, so the locks, I guess, weren't a big deal 100 years ago. I don't know. All right, so this is the article. It's from Newsweek, which I'm kind of like, what happened to Newsweek, as you know, Chase? It's not the magazine that I used to read in the library because I had to, because I was doing research papers back in high school. It's crazy. It's not the same thing. Something happened to it. But anywho, it says, okay, boomer, this is what young people say when they want to dismiss boomers as being out of touch or stuck in our boomer ways. Sort of this generation's version of, if you say so, old timer. I love that they have to explain what okay, boomer is to the people reading this article.
Yeah.
And here's the problem is that okay boomer is used a lot. My son used it on me, and I go, I am not a boomer. I am a Gen Xer, motherfucker.
You're on the cusp, John.
I'm a Gen Xer, Chase. Gen X.
1 year difference and you'd be a boomer.
But that's it. Listen, that's the wall. I made it. Then it goes on to say, okay, fine, we get it. Have fun. But remember one thing before slinging insults. The world, according to Harvard psychology professor Steven Pinker and many others, is better off now than it's been at any time in history. Okay, that's the argument. That we don't have the...
What?
I don't know that. I think this boomer is making the argument that, hey, things are better now, and that's because we boomers were around. It's like, listen, are you saying, okay, yes, we have electricity now, but you boomers didn't have anything to do with that.
Wait, you didn't have electricity before?
No, I'm just saying that the world gets better whether you're a lame generation or not. He says boomers are the greatest generation the world has ever known, the most innovative, the most caring, the hardest working. That may seem a bit much, but to quote the pitcher, Dizzy Dean, it ain't bragging if you can back it up. So this person goes on to this is your mother's argument, really, is that not only is the boomer generation a good generation, they're the greatest generation. And I think this is what happens to everybody. As you get older, you think, God, the world is going to hell. And if only they could have stayed with my conception of what culture should be, then the world would be a good place. This is what happens to us. We all become those people.
Yeah, but, I mean, they did do some stuff.
Right. I grant that. But that doesn't mean that the millennials are crap outs.
Well, no, that's not, yeah, exactly, because the boomers are the ones who raised the millennials, so that should be on them.
Yeah. And they all talk about how she talks about how hard it was. Like there's more opioids. We had heroin and crack. This person is actually making this argument that, hey, opioids aren't so bad because we had heroin and crack, so we got through that. Don't whine about your opiates. I mean, who is this? I'm gonna say who it is. It's what is his name or her name? Oh, Sam Hill. Sam Hill. That's the name of this guy. And so he is making the argument legitimately. I'm not endorsing. I'm saying he is actually making this argument that it was harder on boomers because they had heroin and crack, whereas millennials, all they have to deal with is opioids. Can you imagine? What an old ass.
Yeah, we don't like him.
Let me tell you something, Mr. Hill, about opioids. They can order it in the mail. First of all, this guy never tried to score heroin and crack. I did, and it was hard. You had to go down to crazy, scary places, and you had to go up to somebody and go, hey, do you have any heroin? Literally, that's what I did. I went down to Cabrini Green in Chicago. It's like, excuse me, sir, do you have heroin? Now, but with the millennials, they just click, and it comes in the mail. That's why we have this opioid problem, which is a horrible, horrible problem. And you're like, oh, it's not so bad. We had it bad. I'm mad at this guy.
I think this just makes it easier for you to, we've got a dog.
We had dogs. You think you had dogs? We had dogs. There's my millennial. Oh, Hudson, show your hair to everybody. Look at my son.
Wait, that's Hudson?
That's Hudson. Look, he dyed his hair. His sister dyed his hair red and then dyed white flowers in it.
No, that's not what that happened.
Okay.
So first when you dye it, you put like this thing on it and it goes blonde. So that was the blonde part, and then she put red over it and kept some of the blonde parts.
How did she keep the blonde parts with foil?
She got a little like cutout of the design that we were gonna put there, and she just like colored around it.
Okay, so you can see what's happening at our house, Chase. We're like 3 steps away from eating each other.
You're having fun. It looks like Hudson decorated his head like an Easter egg.
She said it looks like an Easter egg. That's what a cop said to him. A cop said you look like an Easter egg.
Oh, wow. Mm-hmm. I have the same opinion as a cop.
So this idiot goes on. I'm sorry. He can sue me.
Tell me more.
Oh, God. So he goes
Spell.
on. All right. He says, let's see. We did, and what did you have to live up to? Using 1969 as a benchmark, when leading edge boomers were 23, the same age as the youngest millennials are now, spoiler alert, the world we're leaving you is way better off than the one we got. Seriously, dude? Seriously? Millennials are justifiably outraged over the growing wealth gap. Here's what gets lost, though. While the average person may be slipping further behind the wealthy, they are still better off in absolute terms than they were 50 years ago in income and net worth. Yes, but that's always been the case. That's always been the case. And in the first time in history, millennials are the first generation that are going to make less than their parents. This guy's an idiot. You think you had it. This whole article is, you think you got it bad. We had to ski to school. And he's doing the response to that article should be, okay, boomer. He's making your point for you. Because all he's talking about is how much harder it was when he was young. You think you got it bad. And you just be like, okay, boomer.
Do we think this guy?
Uh-oh, I lost you for a minute. Chase, I don't hear you. Well, we've lost her. I don't know, everybody. Oh, there she is. Well, this has been a complete failure. Okay. Well, Chase, you're coming in very low level right now because you're not hooked up to your microphone. Yeah. No, it's hard. It's hard. We're at 39 minutes. I feel like we've got a great weird show this week, so I hope everybody enjoyed it.
What a weird show, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I really hope so too. And hey, we're just having fun.
We're just having fun. We're learning the best we can on how to move forward in this day. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
My generation, baby.